Going to go through then is how to peek in terms of where you need to be against the object that you're peeking from behind or to the side of. So Mute has very kindly decided to be the guinea pig on this one. Mute's going to be using this angle here on Z or Z, and we're going to walk up to the meeting wall. Now what I'm about to show you is a very, very obvious and very extreme example of what will happen in every single game that you play of Siege. So if we start this replay, Mute is holding an angle here, okay? You can see he's right up close to the object that he's hiding behind, which is this wall of Z or Z, just the back of classroom, and you can see the sledge there with the outline. If we now look at the sledge, we can obviously see Mute because Mute's eyes are facing the wall. He's not peeking out far enough. So Sledge will approach to this angle here, a bit further. Go on, Sledge, hang on. So yeah, we know we can see half of his body because half of Mute's body's sticking out. That's fairly obvious. So as he approaches this angle here, you'll see now that I can see, if we just get, there we go, we ADS on that. I can now see half of Mute's head and more than half of Mute's body. But the way perspective works in Siege, if we now look at Mute's perspective, so we've jumped over to Mute, and you can see that we can't actually see anything of Sledge. We can maybe see a little bit of the hammer that's sticking out, like a pixel or two, but that's it. That's the outline of Sledge there. That's the outline of Mute. That's the difference in perspective when you're holding an angle. Now, the way to stop this from happening is to be as far away from possible as the thing that you're peeking from behind or to the side of. So if Mute moves backwards, which we'll get onto now, as Mute moves backwards, the angle will become less severe for Mute and you'll be able to see more of Sledge. So if we look at Mute's perspective, and from here now we move backwards, which I will do in a second, there we go. So you can see he's moved back a step, he can still only see sort of
Just look for the mobile exclusive tag on thousands of hotels.
20-30% of Sledge's body, and he can't see his head. Let's go back to Sledge's perspective. We can still see Mute over half of his body and still half of the head. So we could headshot Mute there, and Mute couldn't headshot us. Again, it's because he's too close. Mute is too close to the object that he's peeking from behind of. So let's go back to Mute's perspective, and we'll move back a little bit further. So just now is Sledge's head appearing in that angle. So now we go back to Sledge's perspective, and you can pretty much see all of Mute there. So during, if we just scroll back sort of 10 seconds, oh, we're gonna have to have the audio because the match replay system doesn't seem to.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
There we go, that's that done. So again, we've gone back to that same angle. Mute is too close, and there's really no more to it than this. Try and be as far. The summary is this: try and be as far away from the object that you're peeking behind as you can. Again, I'll just show you. This is Mute's perspective. Can't see anything of Sledge. We'll go on to Sledge's perspective. He can see everything. You can see over half of Mute's body and half of Mute's head. So if we watch Mute's perspective again, when he moves back from the object that he's peeking from behind, the perspective then becomes clearer and you can see more of the thing that he's peeking. So now we can see a bit of Sledge, a bit more of Sledge, and then there we can see obviously all of Sledge. But you can see just from the angles there how much more beneficial that is for Mute to be holding that angle away from there. Now, this, like I say, this is a very extreme example, and I've not included any leaning. If you lean, then the example is the severity is less. If you lean around the corner, it's less than what we've seen here. But this is just an example to show. As soon as you get close to the thing you're peeking behind, then you have trouble. You want to be as far away if you can. Obviously, you don't want to be the other side of the room. But if you were to be peeking this angle here where Mute is, you want to be peeking it from where Mute is now, rather than up close right against the wall. That's the long and short.